Hi everyone, in this video I am going to show you uh, a cooling method of GPU. So to apply this cooling method, I am going to tell you the needs that you have to fulfill for cooling the GPU. And for the GPU you need a good quality thermal paste which spreads around pretty easily and it doesn't really has any melt of problems or something like that. And of course you need the thermal paste with good thermal conductivity, and you need a good quality thermal paste which transfers heat pretty much fast. So you need that kind of thermal paste, and of course you need it in like in good quantity, because otherwise you would not be able to transfer the heat and get some stability out of it. So guys, let's start with the idea. So I applied it to my graphics card and it worked pretty much well. So how did I do it? Let me tell you, and you need to understand it like very consciously, otherwise you would not be able to understand. So I have drawn here something you can see. So this is your graphics card, and you need this graphics card with the fans and the heatsink. Remember, this graphics card has to have a fan or two fan or three fan. At least it needs some fan and its heatsink to be able to uh, cool itself with this trick. So of course you need the graphics card with its heatsink and its fan. So what would happen is you would open the heatsink and flip it upside down, and then you would be able to see this area. So in this area you can see the contact plate of the GPU die, which gets direct cooling. Of course it does have some thermal paste here. So, and around this area you can see a space as well, which is an extra thermal metal, or what can I really say, extra heat transferring metal. So this metal is required to cool your like uh, memory chips. So in some graphics cards it does not used in some graphics I mean it is not used directly for memory cooling, because it does not have a heat pad or some kind of contact material for the memory chips to transfer the I'm sorry, transfer the heat to the extra heating plate. So in that graphics card it would be much easier. But for those graphics cards which does not have a middle plate, I mean, there's a some for some graphics cards there's a middle plate. I mean, it stays between the heatsink and the uh, GPU's motherboard, or what can you really say, GPU circuit. It stays between the circuit and the heatsink. So it is the middle plate. So though for those graphics card which doesn't have a middle plate and requires direct cooling from the uh, extra heating element or the extra heating material or the extra heating plate, so for that you would of course need to remove extra heat pads, and first you need to clean this, and then you are going to apply thermal paste around the GPU dies contacting heat transferring plate. So after you apply in this area like this, like some kind of solder joint or a half pyramid, then you would see this kind of a design. And of course these areas are empty because they are required to give cooling to the memory chips for those graphics card which requires direct cooling from the extra heating plate. So you will apply your thermal pads here. So you need to keep it in mind that you need to keep this area clean as well. So after you consciously apply the thermal uh, paste around the GPU dice contact plate, then you need to clean the extra thermal paste around it. And then after cleaning it very securely, then of course you need to remember the screws, uh, because if you don't remember which screw goes where, you would not be able to get great cooling. So of course you may get into in some electrical hazards or something like that. So you may void your warranty as well. So I would not recommend it if you don't want to void your warranty, because it requires to remove the what can I say, it requires the GPU to be uh, opened, like from the heatsink and the middle plate, etc., etc. You can understand, you get the idea. So it would void your warranty if your graphics card has warranty. So do it, uh like, it is your own risk, man. So if you want to do it, then do it. It would get you some stability. I can confirm that because I applied it on my GPU. So after applying thermal paste, you can see that this thing would look like that, the thermal paste. So after the thermal paste is applied properly and you have designed it and gave it a good shape like that, I mean, just like that, then the thermal paste around the GPU's contacting plate or the contact plate would look like this shape. So after you applied the thermal paste like this shape, according to this shape, then you would get better cooling. And of course on this area of I mean, there are needs to be fulfilled for the memory chips, because they might need direct cooling from the extra heating plate around it. So you need to clean off extra thermal paste, and then you would be able to apply thermal pads. So after you do it, what you will do is you would put back the graphics card altogether. I mean, of course you need to remove the old thermal paste from the GPU die and give it new powerful and good heat transferring thermal paste, and you would put all this back together. And of course you have to keep it in mind that you don't mess up with any components, because otherwise your graphics card can get like damaged. And of course if you void your warranty and you have touched it by your own hand and you've destroyed it or damaged it, then company would not get you a refund at all. So keep it in mind, do it at your own risk. So I would show you a picture which I have kept when I was testing. So let me show you. I have the GPU which is called MSI RTX 2080 Ti. It is the vendor series. It is used for my PCs works and etc, etc, and the also YouTube video making and gaming, etc. It works for great it works great for the video editing as well. So I will show you the picture and you would be able to get a pretty much clear idea. So as you can see here in the picture, this is the heatsink, and here you can see the heat pipes, you can see the heatsink, you can see the thermal pads areas. And for my graphics card, on the middle plate, I mean between the middle plate and this extra what can I really say, extra heating plate extra heating plate or the extra cooling plate for the memory chips, it does not have any uh, thermal pads between. So for me, it is pretty much easy to apply thermal paste like this. I think you can see it. So I applied Noctuous anti-H1 thermal paste around the GPU dice contacting plate, and as you can see, it is pretty much clear. So I applied it like that, and of course it would show like as I have drawn and as I have taken the photo, and you can see here you need to give it a clear uh, you know clear what can I say, clear shape, which would be able to transfer heat quickly. So what would happen is the GPU's die would take the heat and spread it onto the extra heating area or the extra cooling area or the extra metal plate here. So your GPU would get significantly cooler and you might get some stability, extra stability as well. So I think you get the idea here. So after you do this, you will put back the thermal pads and the all the required things which you would remove. Then you would you'd put all those back together, and your graphics card should get some more stability as well. So guys, uh, when you are going to overclock it in future, after applying this method, make sure to keep it in mind that do not uh, like put any kind of dust or any kind of alcohol, any kind of some extra extra dusty things on the thermal paste which you have surroundedly surroundly uh, spread it uh, around the contacting plate. So then you also need to remember that you should not touch the area of extra uh, what can I say, extra thermal paste, because it would get bit messy and it would be an expensive mistake, because you need a lot of thermal paste and a good quality thermal paste, so it would not be great. So guys, this is it for now. I will see you in the next video. If you like this method, then hit the like button of the video, and the the YouTube's like button, and of course hit the subscribe. As you can see, my channel needs growth. It cannot show premium contents or cannot get sponsorships and cannot show like good quality contents because it requires money. So guys, uh, for now, goodbye. See you later in the video, which I will post next. So guys, bye, stay well.